Hello everyone, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this card making tutorial. Today I have this lovely three-part tripart card featuring some new products and some old ones. So we've got this lovely Nest of Winter Designer Series paper. That's an old product that's in the catalogue, in the main catalogue, carried over from last year. And then we've got some lovely new products here. We're making this into a Christmas card. And this is a lovely new product here. We've got this beautiful banner here. And of course, we've got a lovely internal sentiment that says, "May your holiday season be filled with joy and happiness." And you can see here's 3 parts. And I wanted to make this because I had this lovely designer series paper pattern that goes all the way across like this, and I wanted to showcase it, and I thought this was a great way of doing so. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? I'm really happy with the way it turned out, so let's make another one together. So I've cut out 2 standard 80s card bases from some real red cardstock. I'm just going to stick one to the other, literally like that. So all I'm going to do is put some glue here, and I'm going to put glue all the way around but not over any score lines. I'm going to use some wet glue. You could use dry glue as well. And I'm going to put this up to the score line but not go over it. You want to make sure you can still fold that piece in and fold that in like that. So then give everything a really good press down, and then you'll see you can fold your card like that. Okay, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a burnish using my bone folder just to get everything nicely, really nicely stuck. So I'm going to work on the inside first, I think. And I have all my pieces cut already, and we see if here I used the same beautiful pattern. I just need to make sure that it lines up. That doesn't line up, so where have I? Let's try it this way. Yeah, that lines up fine. And if you're not sure, just do what I'm going to do here and use my original as a to make sure. There we go. That's how it should be. Right, so now let's stick this down while we have it in the right orientation. And this piece of designer series paper actually had this print twice, so one on the top, once on the bottom. So I've used both. I've used one sheet to make both cards, and you could just cut off a piece and use it, but I really wanted to not to lose this scene effect. So stick our second piece down, lovely jubbly, and then let's do the third one. All right. There we go. I just love that. I love that you can see the full scene, so you can even put it on the mantle like that and it will just give you a full scene. Really nice. On the front here I've got a different piece of designer series paper. I'm going to use, you could use this piece here with this beautiful birds, but I think I'm actually going to go for this piece here just for something different. But as I said, isn't that pretty? And we're going to be fussy cutting some of these birds out. Well, I have fussy cut already some of these birds out. This is the third in a series of projects using this gorgeous paper, and I did 2 last week and I'm doing 2 this week. So don't forget to subscribe and to my YouTube channel so you can see all of these and be alerted to when I post the next one. I will link the previous two in the description box below and at the end of this video. Okay, so there we've got that down like that. So let's work on a little bit of stamping for now before we stick anything else down. Right. Going to bring in a scrap piece of basic white cardstock. Let's get a scrap here. That'll do. Going to use early espresso ink. And I'm going to go again for Season's Greetings. And I'm just going to put this down on my grid paper like that, because these are photopolymer, you can sort of, as you can see, manipulate them. I don't want that because I want to cut it out just as it is, so I'm just going to drop it on the paper and let it fall in its natural way, and then I will pick that up using my block. Tap, tap, tap. Make sure it's nicely inked up. And then I'm just gonna, there we go, lovely. Close this up. Well, actually no, leave it open because we're going to need it just now. But I'm going to clean my stamp so I can use my block again, using my simple chamois. Put this back in its home. Now this is a new stamp set, I should have said, called the Traditional Labels, and you'll find this in the new mini catalogue. So this is in the Christmas catalogue, or the, what I call the Autumn Winter catalogue, and it's just a lovely sentiment stamp set. Lovely different sentiments, great fonts. I love this one, Merry Christmas. So really useful set. So then we're going to use another sentiment set called Words for the Season. I really love this one. Let's toast to yesterday's achievements and tomorrow's future. It's lovely. And this is a red rubber, and as you can see I haven't used much of it yet. Haven't even prepped my stamps yet. So I'm just going to pick this up on my block. And then I'm going to take a piece of basic white here, ink this up, hope for the best. There we go. And that's going to be for the inside of my card. So let's stick this back in its little home. There we go. Close this up before we do have an accident, and let me show you the matching die for this. It's the Traditional Labels die, and you've got some lovely labels here, but we're going to be using this one here, and it fits perfectly. And if you're not sure, you can fiddle around with it until you get something you are happy with, and then you're just gonna hold that down with some post-it note tape. And then I've got a piece here of the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and I'm going to use it with this glorious nested die set called Party Banners. And I'm going to use here, I think it's the fourth smallest one. I'm going to cut out a piece of that. So I'm going to do all of that, and I'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay, so I've cut everything out, so let's get started and finish this card up. I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to put it here on the inside of my card. Okay. The Tombo's going towards the end. Always does, it seems. You use so much of it. Seem to finish it before I know what's happening. So there we go, there's our insert. Isn't that lovely? Let's turn to the outside. I'm going to put this on the front here. This is just a piece of the Country Woods Designer Series paper that we cut out. with the party banners dies. Aren't those dies glorious? Can't wait to make a proper Christmas banner using them. It's going to be so fab. Now, for a focal image, I fussy cut out a piece from the Designer Series paper, from the Nest of Winter Designer Series paper, and I'll show it to you in a minute, but I'm just going to stick this down because I've already put it on some dimensional, so I don't want it to stick to other things. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? And I'll show you the paper now. It's this paper here, and you can see it has all these different birds that you can fussy cut out. You can see here's one as well that we could have used. Lots of different birdies, small, large, and there's another few sheets like this as well. So you can fussy cut out your heart's content and create a zillion embellishments using that paper. So I've cut that out. Now I've got my sentiment here, and you can see you can make it into really 3D sentiment here. You've got all of these pieces to really pop it up, but I feel my sentiment is quite, there's a lot of dimension going on here already, so I'm not going to do anything too fancy with it. So I'm just going to, also I don't want it to be too 3D and popped up, but this has got to go in the post, and so I'm wary of that. So I'm just using some foam strips here. If you take the backings off the foam strips before you put them down, the strip is much more malleable, easy to manipulate. So then I am going to use just two, oopsie daisy, two baby or mini dimensionals, whatever they're called. I call them baby ones. There's big ones and baby ones. That's how it is to me anyway. Okay, so put this the right way around, and I'm going to just put that down there like that. Isn't that pretty? Really, really pretty. I really like that. But I think on this one, on the original I didn't use any embellishments, but I think on this one maybe I will. Let's see what I've got with me up here. I think I've got some rhinestones. Let me have a look and see. Yes, I do. Here we have rhinestones. My go-to fallback embellishment is always a rhinestone. If you're not sure what to put on a card, stick a few rhinestones on them. It really works well. So there we go, and just a few like that. You don't need a lot just to give it a something something. So there you go. There are our two cards featuring the Nest of Winter Designer Series paper and some lovely new stamp sets from the Stampin' Up Winter catalogue. There you can see this beautiful tripart card. So I really hope you enjoyed that project. If you did, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As I said, all the supplies are listed and linked in the description box below, so you can shop anything you want today. So I hope you've enjoyed making this card. If you make one yourself, do tag me, and I'd love to see your creations. So until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.